Afternoon, VC. All right, gonna do something different today. I was just recently looking into purchasing a record. I've been interested in the record, but it just so happened to be an autographed copy, which is nothing I really am too concerned about. If anything, it makes the record more expensive, which is kind of annoying. But when you find a rare record and it just happens to be autographed by the artist, you kind of have to go with it if it's a rare record. So what I'm going to do, I thought I'd show what I remembered. I'm sure there's more here in the collection of things I have that are autographed by the artist. Only a few of these I may have gotten myself. Just through collecting, a lot of these I've just randomly acquired for various reasons. So I'll try to recall the wheres and the hows, but I thought this would be a cool video to do. Maybe if you have autographed records, you could show them and talk about them as well. I'll show the CDs first. We'll get them out of the way. The first, this is funny, I have Melvin's Alive at the Fucker Club on CD. They only made 4 copies of this, and it is hand autographed by Buzz from Melvin's that I got at a Melvin's gig here at the Visualite in Charlotte. So that's a big one. They do a lot of limited things for their merch table. Here's one from Henry Derek Ellis, who used to have a VC channel, who met up with us on our dig in Los Angeles at Amoeba and Freak Beat. This is his band Calm. First Light of the Last Dawn, their newest double LP is getting ready to come out here in a week or so. I think actually it's out digitally. But this is the CD, and he was kind enough to autograph it in green marker there for me. Very cool. This one is a great story. Back when I was doing a lot of film work, I was working for an attorney at the time doing court depositions, but we also took up, put an ad out, and we'd do, different types of gigs. We'd do big weddings. We'd film. We'd do film work we did a bunch of film work for the BBC in England. Oddly enough, they had us do a gig at the racetrack here in Charlotte, where we interviewed Kyle Petty, and for the Richard Petty driving experience, and we put GoPros on some of the cars, and we did a bunch of stuff. It was pretty fun. Probably one of the most exciting gigs I've ever been a part of as far as film is concerned. And that aired in England. But after we were done filming, I brought this with me with the intent of seeing if Kyle Petty, son of Richard Petty, would autograph this CD, because there's a song by Soundgarden on this Fell on Black Days single called Kyle Petty, Son of Richard. And he autographed it for me, which is very interesting. And I asked him what was his association with Soundgarden, why they would name the song after him. Well, he was friends with Chris Cornell, and I guess Chris would come to some of the races in, I think maybe did he say Pomona? One of the ones in California, and there was a friendship there, so that's why the song was named Kyle Petty, Son of Richard. And I have Kyle autographed my Soundgarden CD. It's pretty interesting. This one is also interesting. This was a band out of New York called Orbit. God, probably back in 1995. Really good band. They had a couple really good CDs, or Libido Speedway, I think was the name of the other one. But this was the one that came out before it, La Mano. And I was working security at Best Buy at the time, and I got off and I hightailed it to Tremont Music Hall to try to catch them, but they were opening for somebody, and I just caught the tail end of the set, like part of the last song. And so I really missed the whole gig, and when I bought this CD, and they inscribed and autographed it to me. To Dave Gibson, sorry you missed the show, maybe next time. It was autographed by one of the guys in the band. I forget which guy. That was interesting. This is one, I got this last Christmas off of, it was on the Discogs page for Record Archive, but when I went into Record Archive, I always have my list of what's on their Discogs for them to pull out of the back. And they pulled this out of the back, but it's the Sun Ra Orchestra under the direction of Marshall Allen, A Song for the Sun. And this is autographed by some of the members of the group. So this is autographed by Marshall Allen, who's now 100 years old, still leading the orchestra. Lukman Ali, and who's the other guy? There's another guy here, Noel Scott. So all three autographed this particular CD. Another CD I found there, this was, I can't remember if this was just in the bins, or no, another one off Discogs that I got while I was in store at Record Archive in Rochester, New York. This is Omar Farouk Tekbalik, Whirling. This is inscribed and autographed by the artist, which is really cool. This is some really awesome like oud playing on here. I can't remember who turned me on to this particular artist. I do remember, but I can't think of his name, in Chicago. Carm turned me onto this, and it was just randomly on their Discog, so I had him pull it from the back, and it was inscribed to Jamie, with best wishes, Omar Farouk Tekbalik, many thanks. Very cool. I've never seen the CD, so it just happened to be autographed. And then this is a very rare CD, and I forget where I found this. I think I found this in Florida somewhere. Getting Away with Murder, Tom Bruno and Sabir Mateen. This is on the Aramite Records label. It's a very difficult CD to find. And I finally found one, and it just so happened to be autographed by Sabir Mateen. There's an inscription there. Peace and Goodwill, Sabir Mateen. So that's pretty incredible. And I'm sure Alex at the Diamond Rainbow will give me a lot of shit for this video. I'm sure I'm failing all of Van Secretary of Funk's rules regarding autographs when it comes to this stuff, but thought I'd show this stuff anyway. We'll just go through these at random. This was one of the first ever pieces of vinyl I think I ever bought. Was this 7-inch. I went to a live show at the Campus Center at Fredonia State in New York, and the band Versus from New York played. Loved them, and Fontaine Taups was in that band. She was looking great that day, wearing a white fur coat, selling the merch, and she autographed this 7-inch, the Frog 7-inch, on K Records. Fontaine Taups, love her. Great fucking band, Versus, out of New York City. Kind of a Sonic Youth inspired band, I'd say. This is a record I found recently at one of the conventions here, maybe last year. Darkest Hour, real heavy band, like 3 guitarists absolutely going bonkers all at the same time. Heavy, metal-y stuff. This is Undying Ruin live at the Black Cat. Now, I got this because it's a rare record, one of 250, and I didn't notice the insert. I looked at the record, but the record was fine. There was an insert stuffed in here. There's a piece of paper autographed by the band to somebody. So that was cool. This is the record. It's pretty cool colored vinyl. So that was kind of a bonus. Didn't even know that was in there. I don't think the price was reflective of it. But somebody got this at that show. I think it was sold at the show, or not at the show, but at a later show, and got him to autograph it. This is one I picked up from the merch booth here in Carborough, North Carolina, at Cat's Cradle. I went up to see this show, the Kim Gordon from Sonic Youth, and this is her record, The Collective, that she signed just with the X in the O and K for Kim. Awesome awesome, awesome gig, and this will probably be my record of the year. It's so unique at her age, and to be jamming with these young kids and touring with them. It's pretty incredible. Some phenomenal stuff. It's like trap music meets some Kim Gordon crazy guitars. It's interesting. Here's a group out of Milwaukee, real heavy band. Awesome, a lot of groove in their stuff. It says Progressive Atmospheric Doom is on the hype sticker. Arctic Sleep. Keith D is the guy that is pretty much this entire band. Sometimes he'll have another guitarist and a drummer in the band. He plays a lot of the instruments in the recordings. This is a phenomenal LP right here. This is Passage of Gaia, and this was put into effect through not a GoFundMe, but one of those fundraiser things online. So they were able to put this out back in 2014. But him and Mike Gussis, who was on guitars with him on this, autographed the inside of the record for me, since I was one of the first to put money into that cause. Yeah, Keith D plays bass, drums, vocals, cello, keyboard, and guitar on this. Does everything. It's pretty badass LP. And then their next LP also is autographed. What's this one called? God, I forget. This is awesome artwork too. This is a local artist to them, I think, in the Milwaukee area that did this artwork. Really incredible. Kindred Spirits is the name of this one. And again, Keith D does everything on this. Vocals, guitars, bass, cello, keyboard, percussion. Nick Smolkowski plays the drums. So it's just him and a drummer on this one. Let me see, what did he autograph on this? Something was autographed. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, we got the sticker in here. He autographed. Hi David, thanks, from Keith D. So that was pretty nice of Keith to do that. He's done a lot of different projects since, but this is the best stuff that he's done. I wish he would go back to doing Arctic Sleep stuff. Here's another record from Calm and Henry Derrick Ellis. This was their double Resilience and Despair from, God, a few years back now, 2022 on Hypethral Records out of LA, I believe. And what did he autograph on this? Let me see. There was something that I think there was a poster that was included that he autographed for me. Yeah, he had the whole band sign the poster. And I got this on Bandcamp. Always cool to get stuff from Henry. I've sent him some records as well. Sent him he was looking for that Lovin' Us All Pharoah Sanders. I found a copy for $8 at Repo a few years ago and sent that his way since I already had a copy. Some more from VC members. This is Laura River from Michael A. Muller, and he kindly inscribed the record on the back to me. This is his best work as far as I'm concerned. It's hard to see the artwork, but it's beautiful mountain artwork with a river flowing down from the top of the mountain. Gorgeous, gorgeous LP on Beacon Sound. I think it was his first solo. Co-founder of Belle Marais, but yeah, limited to 500 copies. So some copies popped up randomly, and so I got one from him. Very, very happy to get that. That's fantastic music. Here's another one from a VC member, RAF, No Salvation, from Derek Higgins, who plays bass on this and absolutely kills it. Great Omaha punk band. I got a copy signed by the entire band. And Kelly is no longer with us. He passed this year. Unfortunately, he took his life. He had struggled for a long time. Very sad to hear that, but this is one of 130. One of 130 copies autographed by the band. And, means a lot to have that record. I'd been looking forward to that record for years. because they had worked on it a long time, and Derek had always talked about how it was a big deal to get that put out, and this sounds great, great music, really good songs. They're big influence in that region of the country as far as punk music. More from Henry Derek Ellis, The Devil Is My Friend. His kind of country record, but it's more Southern Gothic Americana barn rock is what it says on the hype sticker, but that's also autographed. There. This is a record that one Christmas I saw one pop up at Atomic in Burbank. It was on their wall. I called the shop, inquired on the record. He wanted $1,000 even for it, would not budge on the price, said he hadn't seen it in 30-some years of doing business. And I definitely believe him. But I wasn't paying that for this record. And then it wasn't but, I think probably in January or later that month, one popped up at Carolina Soul at auction, and I got it for $200 and some. And that's Lacey Gibson Wishing Ring. And it's autographed and inscribed, says, "To a sweet girl from Lacey Gibson." So some woman way back in the day got this. And it's on El Saturn. It's on Sun Ra's label. Might be the only record on the label that isn't Sun Ra. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But it's a freaking great copy. And for it to be autographed by the band, and Lacey Gibson happens to be just up the road, I think in the Salisbury area here in North Carolina. Great blues artist, guitarist, singer, great stuff. That's a Grail record. This is one I just found lying in the bins at Lunchbox not too long ago. The I Told You So LP from Delvin Lamar Organ Trio. Jimmy James on guitar just shreds. But this was a promo copy, completely hand-signed and autographed by the band on the cover. So that was cool to get. I had missed that gig when they were in Charlotte, unfortunately. Here's one. I was just seeking out this record, and the only copy that was available happened to be autographed. Bayard Lancaster, Personal Testimony. So this is Bayard solo, playing a ton of different instruments. Phenomenal LP. And this is to John, Peace and Hard Work, Bayard Lancaster. He signed in 1981. He even dated it. So that's pretty incredible to have an autograph from Bayard Lancaster on a record. This is one. This was autographed and it came with it as a limited edition. This is the band Glassjaw from Long Island. Real heavy band, freaking killer. Daryl Palumbo is a badass vocalist. Material Control. This was there when they got back together. Yeah, numbered and signed by Daryl and Jason Beck, I believe was one of the guitarists in the band. So that's pretty cool. This one I got this year from an incredible collection that Carolina Soul had. The collection of Kiko Jones, the wife of Elvin Jones, the great drummer of John Coltrane's. And I did get this record. It's Johnny Diani, Freud Gerstad, and John Stevens detail forwards and backwards on the Impetus Records label. Very rare record. And this is inscribed and signed by John Stevens to Kiko and Elvin with love. So this sat on Elvin Jones's shelf and Kiko's shelf at one point and was played by them. That's incredible to have that. This is probably the most incredible one that I have, thanks to Dylan at Noble Records. He bought that Chris Whitson collection a while back. And there was a handful of Sun Ra records, 80s Sun Ra records. They're the 89 hybrid pressings that Chris had because he actually interviewed Sun Ra at that time. And so Sun Ra autographed all these records. And Dylan kept all of them but this one. And it sat on the wall for a week or two. And then I traded for it. I ended up getting a Weldon Irvine record for $50 at Repo, and I traded it to Dylan, and we have the autographed copy of Horizon, one of the Egypt sessions. Noel Scott autographed the cover, and Sun Ra autographed the actual labels on the LP twice. So there's Sun Ra's autograph on the front and on the back. And then the original, I put it in a different sleeve. The other sleeve that it came on, which maybe why I didn't sell, has a lot of water damage. But there's Noel Scott's autograph. Very similar and almost identical to the one on the CD I have. So to have a Sun Ra autographed record is pretty special. Speaking of Sun Ra, this is one. Marshall Allen autographed these a year or so ago. Sun Ra Orchestra under the direction of Marshall Allen, Babylon Live. Limited to 1,999 copies and autographed on the front by Marshall Allen. And then last but not least, I got this at Bop Shop maybe a couple years ago now. Peter Brodsman and Walter Perkins, The Ink Is Gone. It was on the wall, and I called the shop, and they sent it my way. It's one of 999 copies. Mine's copy 518, and it's autographed by Peter Brodsman. Right there. It probably was in Tom's personal collection, is my guess. Owner of the shop. So that's all the autographed stuff that I could think of that I have here, other than what's on posters and concert tickets. I have a ton of that kind of stuff, but... Yes, do a video and show what autograph stuff you have. I'd be interested to see it, hear the stories. Take care. Peace.